I said I wasn't going to do another food prep haul video. Well, I've just took my phone to get repaired, and he said half an hour. I went back after half an hour. He said an hour. Come back in another hour. So that was an hour and a half. An hour and a half of time that I had to kill. So I went into a load of charity shops, bought a few bits and bobs, and did another shop. But this will be the last one. It's only because I needed to get my phone repaired. And yeah, the phone's good to go. But there's not that as well. You know, I want to just bring a few other things into this. I always try and make a food prep haul video a bit more interesting than just I bought some beans and I bought some peas, you know. So I bought that, which has clearly been used from a charity shop. So I can make fresh coffee on my wood burning stove with that, and it will last forever. I've online sent off with some cheesecloth as well, because cheesecloth is perfect for straining all of the tiny little bits out that you're eventually going to be pouring into little bottles like that I'll go into in a minute. Cheesecloth is essential if you're making stuff like wine, ciders, tinctures, anything like that, or just add in berries like sloe berries to gin. You know, it's really handy stuff, good stuff. But I'll put it in the washer first on a cold wash, just to make sure there's nothing, you know, that it's just clean. So I bought another one of these little meals I've not seen this one before. So it's actually got meatballs in there. It's not going to be the finest cutlets of, you know, perfect sirloin steak, but it'll do in a pinch. And again, it can just be eaten straight out of the sachet. I don't know why I bought these two. I think I'm taking them. I'll take them to the caravan because they are quite handy, and it saves on washing up. Just add hot water to it. I bought another one of these because the dates are really, really good. They are designed for a microwave, but you can do it in a pan as long as I have mentioned this previously. Open the ring pull, just so you've got a tiny little hole, right? And then submerge the whole thing up to about there, and it will cook through, especially if you put the lid on the pan. So they are quite handy for that. And I bought another Fray Bentos pie. Now, they did have a Christmas dinner Fray Bentos pie, and I've never seen that before. I was going to buy it just to add to my collection, but it's got stuff in there that I just can't stand, so I won't actually enjoy it or eat it. Again, these are quite handy to have. Again, I could have just bought a jar, so it came in glass. I'd recommend that you buy any cooking sauces in glass, but I've never tried that particular type of korma by Sharwood's before in one of these, you know. So I'm just trying new stuff out, you know, because you've got to know what you like and what you don't like. Otherwise, you're going to end up with stockpiling food that you just can't stand, and that's just counterproductive. I'll go into that in a minute. Another all-day breakfast. Again, it's just crack a can open, and there's no ring pull as well, so this will last for years and years and years, potentially decades. 2 tins of mushy peas. Again, look into how good for you mushy peas are. I know that they add a chemical into it that makes your wee look like it's glowing in the dark, but it's harmless stuff. It just goes straight through you. It's just there to make the mushy peas look a bit more attractive. I bought some more salt. Again, it's Mediterranean and then the Himalayan stuff, but both of them are fine. Try and go for the fine stuff. Unless you're using it for cooking, then the coarse stuff's fine because it starts to melt down anyway really, really quickly. I bought some more coffee. I know that in a video quite a while ago, I was saying open it up, pack it down into small pouches and then stick it away so you could just hand them out to people. I wouldn't recommend that you do that now. And I apologise for anyone that's done that, because once the freeze-dried coffee's been taken out of that environment, it does start to degrade. It'll still be usable, but it solidifies and it looks shit. So just saying, just keep them in the jars with that film lid intact, and you're looking at 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, but you'll have used it up before then. Some more chopped ham and pork, some pork luncheon meat, which is the same as Spam, and 2 more bacon grills because I used both of the cans of that in the caravan. They need to be replaced. All 4 of those cans there are best before 2030. And then you can add God knows how long on top of that. But 2030, just stick it away. And again, this sort of stuff that we take for granted now, that we're just thinking, oh, I've got to work our way through this shit, will become a comfort food. It will. A big tub of chocolate. I know it's Cadbury's. I know that Cadbury's do use Bovea, but this is just an emergency thing, just to make things a bit more interesting. And you can add the chocolate powder to the coconut flour that I did put in the post section. That money off thing I think will be out of date now. But you mix those 2 things together, cocoa and chocolate. Yeah, coconut and chocolate. Yeah, marriage made in heaven. I've mentioned these before. Again, they're so small, they just pack away to nothing. And they're just little pots of protein. I only buy the beef ones. I don't like the chicken ones, and I certainly don't eat the fish ones. I've got a jar of beef dripping, because it's in a glass jar, so it's just gonna outlast anything that I've got in my fridge. 3 cooking sauces that I've never tried before, but they're only 50p each, so I bought 3 of them. And then I bought 2 tins of Marifat peas, again topping off all your tins because they just last forever. And your cup of soups, again, they're just handy. Off the back of Ruth talking about your Vaseline, or your cheap version of the Vaseline, the amount of uses that this stuff's got, it's amazing, including just stopping small cuts from bleeding by putting a little blob of it over the top. You know, they use it in boxing quite a lot. Some more soap. Again, this stuff's going to be like gold dust. And if you can set aside one grater, you know, that you don't use for cheese and stuff like that, or buy a separate one in, and then grate that, you can use it as it makes it easier to use when you're using it as a soap for washing your clothes and stuff in a grid down. And I've read the back of that, and it has got quite a lot of stuff in there, and some stuff that I've never heard of, a lot of big words. So you are better off buying natural soap, but not everyone's got a budget for natural soap. 3 tins of sweet corn, the really sweet stuff. I went shopping hungry again because I was just waiting around for my phone. I just take one of these strips out, and normally I wouldn't recommend buying any meat products from places like B&M. But I take one strip out and I cut it into tiny, tiny little pieces, centimetre squared. And then I go into the garden and then just place these little centimetre squares of duck all over the garden at night time, and they go hunting for it. They love it. You know, the more you can stimulate your dog, the happier your dog will be. Some more Snickers bars, again, to put away. I vac pack them down into 10 by 15 centimetre vac pack bags. After piercing each individual bag or container for the Snickers bar, and then stick them away. I've got hundreds now. Now, these were quite cheap. I think they were about £2 each, something like that. Now, I'm going to be drinking the rosé out of all 3 of those bottles. I'll be chucking the caps away. I'll be taking this off. I'll be soaking each bottle to get rid of the labels off the front and the back. And then I'll be filling each one of those bottles up with homemade sloe gin. And then I'll make some really, really nice little handwritten labels to go on the front to make it look nice. And I've bought some tapered corks that do fit. They will fit in there. There'll be about 2/3 of it sticking out the top, which I think will be a really, really nice look. You know, you imagine that's a clear bottle, nothing else on there, no labels, no nothing, just with the cork and sloe gin in there, you know? Make a lovely, lovely Christmas present. This, I've got hard drives with information on how to dispatch certain animals, how to prepare certain animals, how to lay traps, how to make tinctures. So much information on these hard drives. So my laptop and if things get heavy, but certainly my hard drives will be going in that, which is a, what's it called? I don't want to have to start this video all over again. A thing to stop an EMP or a, you know what I'm saying? I can't believe I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty obvious what it's for, right? To protect any electronic devices. A Faraday pouch, and it's big enough to take a laptop and all of my hard drives as well. I've got one for my phone as well that does work. I have tried it. I mean, it's mad really when you think about it, because when they were sending out that emergency alert to everyone's phone, I wrapped this phone up in 7 layers of foil. It took 7 layers in order for my phone not to function. Whereas these Faraday pouches, they fold away to nothing and they did the same job. So that's what that's for. So yeah, this will be the last one, I promise you. It will. And this is how much I paid by card. I didn't intend to go doing any shopping, you know. But it wasn't an expensive one. It's a good place to go and buy alcohol for Christmas. Try and get your Christmas shopping in ASAP. One less thing to stress about. Much love and ciao for now.